Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcasting, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
One step closer, you got to get one step closer. Closer to love, closer to God, closer to who you wanna be in life. Why? You got to get one step closer. Closer to love, closer to God, closer to who you wanna be in life. Take one step at a time to reach your goals. Ooh.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Thank you for tapping in. You are here with Shani Shan on One Step Closer. Thank you. Just waiting for more people to come in. I have a great show for you today. And we have a great guest as always. So allow me to introduce and also kind of, get you acclimated with our guest here. So Born on the Hit List is a memoir by B.B. O'Shannon. It is a story that shatters stereotypes and rebel expectations. From managing a career in corrections to facing racial bases, Shannon recounts his journey with persistence, honesty, and humor. From facing racial bias to achieving extraordinary feats, BB takes you on a roller coaster ride of emotions, proving that success can be found despite life's detours. This story isn't just about overcoming hurdles. It's about celebrating triumphs. B.B. O'Shannon details the accomplishments as a TEDx speaker, filmmaker, traveler, and grandfather. Born on the Hit List is an inspiring message for anyone who has ever felt lost or underestimated. His story is proof that the power of resilience, the importance of embracing the unexpected, and the beauty of finding your own path to success. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can help me give a warm welcome to B.
What's up, people?
Hello.
That was a good introduction. That was pretty good.
Thank you so much for joining me.
I was waiting for
today.
somebody else to walk in the room.
Thank you. So let's start from the beginning. Let's take it back to Born on the Hit List. When I saw that title, that kind of grasped me, and I want to know, where did the name come from? And what inspired you to write a book?
Believe it or not, I was writing the book. I didn't have a name for the book yet. Mm-hmm. And all right, so this is the part of the story you got to kind of put a pause in with everything that's happening in the media. I got it from T.D. Jakes. Okay. Before the baby oil power bottom incident. Right. I was watching one of his sermons, and he was talking about how black men are born on the hit list and all that we go through. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I said, that's it. Because from the time that we come out of the womb, A lot of people don't know this, and shout out to all my followers on Instagram. Y'all really blew me up with the one reel, and I hope y'all keep supporting me. One of the things that people don't know what black men go through is such a daily struggle in regards to just our existence.
Yes.
We are the most hated person on the planet, and we've done nothing to nobody.
Even by our own.
Yeah, when we show up, it's a problem. Especially when you're a black man, you got money. They're gonna try to take it away. If you're big and tall, they want to try to have a baby with you so they can try to get the baby in the league and all this other stuff. But before you can get to the league, you in front of the court. So it's like it's a trap.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So you looked at as their asset in a sense.
Yeah, everybody wants to benefit off the black man. The only time that you truly appreciate it, if you're like a guy of my size and stature, when people first see me and meet me, they're sizing me up.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the white community, and a lot of times they stereotype you. They'll come to you
Very
like, "Hey, what team did you play for?" And then, especially if it's an old white man, I say, "Well, what team do you own?" What do you mean?
It. Yeah.
What do you mean? What team do you own? You're an old white man. You don't own a team?
Exactly. That has to be what you do, right? Right.
I said, what have you been doing with your life? You walking around here old and white and you don't own no team? So it's like...
And they don't understand how that feels from the receiving end because they always giving.
They don't. But they find it humorous because I'm showing them the stereotype. But I did play ball. I didn't play in the league, but it's like you don't play forever. But their opening line is always something related to sports, or you're possibly a criminal.
Yes.
And then, it's either a criminal or athlete. It's never a CEO. It's never a president. It's never a writer. It's never a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, and that is one of the lessons in his book, Born on the Hit List. One of his lessons is to not just be an athlete, but be an entrepreneur, be something great, be resilient. So I definitely think that's important because they do definitely push the basketball or just, football or things like that, or just singing or whatever the case may be, but they never push those doctors, those lawyers, those, entrepreneurs and things like that, that'll push us further. So, and we can do it. We can do it. We are very talented people once we get out of our head.
We have to broaden our horizon. The reason why I really wrote this book too, because we're coming to a place in society where I won't say black men are lost. We don't have anybody that we can get valuable advice from.
I agree.
That's not a rapper or basketball player. I mean, what happens is a lot of the younger guys, there's plenty of people they can get the advice from, but they don't really want to hear anything from you unless you got a chain or a Maybach.
Exactly.
Or something like that. So I have a little bit of celebrity, so I try to utilize that to try to, teach young men and then men my age. I have a lot of older guys that come and ask me for advice because I've experienced a lot of stuff.
Yeah. How does that make you feel, having someone, older look up to you as an inspiration?
Sometimes I look at them like, it's cool, but then sometimes I look at, if you're 10 years older than me, I'm like, what the hell you been doing with your life? Why don't you know this? But then I have to realize everybody hasn't experienced what I experienced. Everybody wasn't raised the way I was raised, or they didn't grow up in the neighborhood that I grew up in.
That is true.
East Side, 7 Mile and Ryan, East Side.
Nice. Shout out to the East Side.
That's right.
The best side. So yeah, I'm not too far from there myself. So in chapter 1 of the book, we're taking it back to, it was 1975. You definitely dealt with the racism around that time. And one of the things was being able to understand your grandfather's ideology behind knowing when to back down, being smart when other people think that you're weak. Can you kind of touch on that as far as how is that important today and knowing how to read the room and stand down when necessary?
I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking about this last night. My grandfather laid the foundation. Unfortunately, none of his sons followed. And you see what that's happening today. And what I mean by that, in his time in the 70s and 60s and 50s, nobody was really hiring black men.
Right.
So you were forced to be an entrepreneur. And one of the things that I talk about, in the book, well, my grandfather, Shelby, North Carolina. And at that time, it was racist.
Yeah.
It was racist. I seen some stuff, during that time, and we go into like the pantries, they would call them. And the story that you're referring to, we go in there, and first thing you do, they call you boy.
Yeah.
So I thought that they were talking to me because I'm 5 years old, but they're talking to my grandfather. My grandfather takes his hat off. He takes his hat off and he drops his head, to the ground. He put his hat in his chest. I still got my hat on. He takes my hat off, put it in my chest. I put my hat back on. Yeah. So from that early age, I didn't know what was going on, but it was like, I want to wear my hat.
Exactly.
And why I got to cower down, to this racist white man. But I didn't know that my grandfather had a line of credit to get groceries. And so he had
to keep things kosher.
He had to keep things kosher, but also to, some people call it bug dance or tap dance, to do whatever the white man, But then when I look back at it, I was like, sometimes you got to stay humble, and you can't dance when you got the rope around your neck. Literally.
That is true.
And you're trying to feed your family, and then these accounts that you have don't kick in till later. So you got to take the hat off, and you got to put the hat in your chest, and you got to look down.
Yeah, because it's a bigger picture.
It's a bigger picture. But even at 5 years old, I wasn't buying it.
Okay.
Yeah, at 5 years old, I wasn't buying it. He kind of taught me a lesson about that. And the lesson is that we were never really supposed to work in corporate America. We were never supposed to work in corporate America.
That's
so we
just
say
what
when
they
people,
tell us.
Yeah, so it's like, and if you look at it, people don't. They're playing in our face.
Yes,
they're playing in our
very
face.
much so.
What do they say? We're known as 3/5 men, right? 3/5 man.
Yes.
Okay, so let me break that down for you. That's 60%. You're only 60% of what the rest of America is. So when you go to try to get a raise, you're going to make 60% less than your white or Asian or Arab counterparts. They're only going to finance you for 60% of the loan.
Definitely.
Of the housing.
Yeah, and that's even if you get approved.
Yep.
So.
And you go to buy a car, more than likely the car going to be marked up 60%.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? They playing right in our face, and they do it, and we don't even acknowledge it. And once you see that, you can't unsee that. You can't unsee that.
You're taking off those rose-colored glasses, and you're seeing things for what they are. So, in regards to racism, do you think that it's kind of repeated today, but just in a different form, as far as captivating the mind versus them having, actual control over us, more so physically back then?
Yeah, racism is not going anywhere. It's just more sophisticated. It's so aggressive now, but it's right in your face to make you think that you part of a bigger picture, and you're not. And I hate to keep going back to the athletes. Let's just use the athletes for example. And all the sports. And I'm specifically talking about black athletes. They get with these white women, and of course, and then some of them love them, but then some of these white families are pushing their daughters.
Yeah, pushing that narrative.
They're pushing that narrative to, okay, he's a good guy and he's got a multi-million-dollar contract, this, that, and the other. But if you go back up that lineage, that great grandfather would have totally been against that.
Oh yeah.
But then
was
see, this is what.
it.
So what happens is people say, well, it's not racism if he marries a white woman. It's not. But what happens is fiscally. You get that divorce,
everything breaks.
you lose that contract, you get injured. Guess what happens?
Yeah.
The money goes back to master.
Exactly. When life hits, like you said,
Goes
you are
back to
left with
master.
nothing. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's allowed to love whoever they love. Just make sure whoever you with are in it for you and not the contract.
Definitely.
Would that same white woman marry you
if you didn't have all of this?
if you worked at Lowe's?
Yes. Really vet the people who we are with. I agree with that. Vet.
That's the word,
Yes.
vetting.
Please. Because like you said, it can be all good until it's good. But then the minute it go bad, those same people or person is just not in your corner. So
I tell you the other thing that I've noticed too that I talk about in the book, they're very creative in the way that things are happening now. You no longer are in a position to blame the white man for anything.
Yeah.
But what's happening is they're taking, and this ain't no knock on the sisters. Sisters are the most educated people in the world. So what they do, they put the sisters in the corporate America.
yeah.
And they put them at the
And get that
supervisor.
status.
They put them at the supervisor position. So you got these black men working underneath them, the white man up at top, or the white woman at top is laying down the rules and telling them what to say and do. So guess what? Now you cannot call racial disparity. You can't call racism because your boss is black. while everything is coming from up top. So what are you going to do? And then the same woman that hired you is going to fire you. So she is the new master.
Exactly.
And that's why everybody was so
what they
mad
feel like.
about Kamala not getting hired.
I really
as
believe
president
that. I really
or
believe
elected.
that, though, because I don't think that the world was even ready to see a black woman in that superior status. How would it really have been? It was all good, and I even thought that she was, at one point going to win, but I just like at that point we can never let our people have too much status, too much power.
Just so you know, I voted for Hillary.
Okay.
When Hillary ran. So I don't have a problem with a woman being on that level, but the thing is, would she be respected by the Muslim countries? And I don't think any of those women would have been respected.
That's a good point.
You put a woman as president. It's like, do we drop a bomb? Do I not drop a bomb? What do you guys think?
Okay.
I'm having cramps right now. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna
having a
drop a
bad
bomb.
day.
And then she fall out with her husband. And then she fucking drop a bomb for nothing.
Yeah.
On the wrong country.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop the F-bomb
No, you're
right
fine.
there,
So do you
but,
think women are too emotional to be able to move in those spaces?
Yes. At certain levels, yes, I do. I absolutely do. And
to make those type of decisions.
I've even seen it in law enforcement. When I work corrections. And I'm not saying that women are not capable, because one thing I will say about women in business and in certain levels of power, they're very thorough, and there's no ego. There's no ego about it. In fact, everybody that I hire to do any type of work for me is usually females, because I know it's going to get done.
Yeah, the job will get done.
But there are certain levels where no, because you're going to be taken advantage of, and you're going to be undermined.
That's
you're
a
going to be
good
undermined.
point.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it like that, though. In those positions, not getting that same respect, as a male counterpart would in that same position,
exactly.
when you are just as qualified or even better qualified.
Exactly.
So that's interesting. I never thought about it like that. So dealing with the racism and everything that you dealt with, what were some of the challenges that you faced, and then how did you overcome them?
The challenges that I face, we all still face, as black people, but more so as black men. People say that having a felony is the worst thing that you can have. I disagree. I disagree. The most dangerous thing that a black man can have is a skill, trade, or education.
Yeah.
Or be an entrepreneur and know how to maneuver and connect it. You're dangerous.
Yeah.
You're
dangerous.
dangerous.
They can't stop you.
They can't stop you.
Knowledge is dangerous for us. And I feel like that's why they don't want us to obtain it. They discourage us from going to school. Loans is out the wazoo, because it's supposed to be a deterrent from going further and getting that education. So
yeah, I'm gonna go back to the point where I was talking about with my granddad. We were never really supposed to work for anybody, and this is the point that I'm trying to make, and I talk about it in the book. A lot of the young black men are so focused on being celebrities and being content creators and all this, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what about going to school to be an electrician, to get a skilled trade, and then after you finish the 5 years that it comes to become an electrician, then you start an LLC,
a business,
or S corp, and then now you
hire people, got people
other
working
people to go
under
get
you.
the bigger account. So now you're going from $200,000 a year to $30 million a year, and you got electricians working all over the place.
Yeah.
Just because you get the job don't mean you stop there. You turn that into a corporation.
I agree. I think it goes back to that mindset, kind of that you were saying earlier about just staying in that one particular place, not wanting to break free. I feel like we need to understand how talented we are, and that we now need those skills as far as electricians and plumbers and things like that, because we have to pay for all that stuff to get done. Back in the day, granddad used to know how to fix up the house. So if something went wrong, he didn't have to call anybody. He was, fixing it in and putting in the work. So we need more of that now, so we won't have to be as dependent on our other counterparts.
I will say this though too. I've never been one to blame white people for everything. I would say, and people might disagree with this, I'd say probably 60% of our problems is our own. We marginalize ourselves. We don't go and get what we can have. But I will say this though too, You have a lot of the Ukrainians that come into the country, the Iranians, the Arabs, the Yemens. They come here and they get money. So a lot of stuff that we get blamed for, they get it right
Praise
off the
for
rip.
you.
They're the ones that get the bridge cards.
Yes.
Their families get the bridge cards,
The
and then they go.
tax-free things.
Yeah, they get the tax-free stuff for 7 years. They get the bridge cards, and they go to Costco's, they go to Sam Club, and they buy up all the
Buy
stuff,
in
and then they
bulk.
take it. Then they take it to their dollar store, and then they sell it for $5 when it was $1 or $10.
Exactly.
So, and then they keep it in the family. We never had a chance to get that. So here's the thing: would I like to see reparations? Yeah. Will we ever get it? We already got it. They gave it to us during the pandemic with all the
And we gave
unemployment,
it
the
back.
PPP loans.
We
and-
turned around and gave it right back.
yeah, and then the scammers, y'all really won.
They got off.
They got off. They still getting off.
They are.
So yeah, reparations.
They are.
They
I
already
just
gave
saw
it to
on
us.
Facebook that it's a lawsuit that's supposed to be going out right now about the pandemic and the different loans and things like that. So, I guess definitely check into that if you were affected or, was kind of in that pool of things at that time.
Yeah.
So something that stood out to me as far as the book as well was that it was a survival guide for Black men. I feel like that's very important because, as you were saying earlier, we don't have those people that are put in place to tell us or show us or teach us the way of how to go or, what path. So I really commend you for that. And what was the importance of making it lessons that are in there instead of it just being a read for maybe inspiration?
I think in this day and age, everybody talk about their wins. Nobody ever talk about their losses. And pretty much this is a book of losses, but then how I turned it around and I prevailed and turned it into something else. If you don't have to go through something and you have a person that's been through it, a wiser person, especially a older Black man or an older brother, take heed and just move forward. There's a story in the book. The story is called 8 Mile in the book, and y'all can get this on Amazon.com and also on.
And it's a great book.
Okay, there we go. On Amazon.com and also on my website, bboshannon.com. My parents had told me back in the day. Everybody knows about 8 Mile. Don't go across 8 Mile. Stay from off the other side of the street. But, video games and arcades, they were all across 8 Mile. The dollar show, the cinema, we would go over there and then we'd come back too late. And long story short, we ended up getting harassed and assaulted by a bunch of drunken Chaldeans.
Yes.
And it ended up somebody had to go to the hospital, and so we could say, well, it was the Chaldeans' fault. They were at fault.
Right.
But before that, our parents told us to stay our ass off the other side of 8 Mile.
When I read that was so commendable because you took accountability. And I feel like a lot of us always harp around the fact of, it's their fault, it's their fault. But you said, no, at this particular time, we endured what we did because we did not listen to our parents. We wanted to do what we wanted to do. And that taught you a very valuable lesson. Sometimes we do have to bump our heads to learn the bigger picture. And like you said, sometimes you don't always have to see the end of something to understand or listen to somebody trying to help you.
Exactly.
So I definitely felt like that was commendable.
Thank you.
And I do have that here about fearing crossing 8 Mile. So now how do you feel about crossing 8 Mile and things like that? Or what would you tell young men today as far as, crossing 8 Mile?
8 Mile. Warren?
Yeah.
Warren, Michigan? We used to call it Warren, Tucky. Now Warren is like an extended version of Mac and Bewick.
I can absolutely say that. And I feel like it's because we all migrated there thinking it was better. And they're like, okay, y'all go there. We'll start building up downtown in Detroit and we'll have you guys come back here. So now it just did a flop.
Here's the thing, white people. Wherever y'all going, we going to.
Yeah, okay. We want the best.
Hey, listen. I don't care where y'all going. We going to. Even with our 200 credit score. We'll be right next door to
we want the best.
We going to be up in there. I promise you. But here's the thing now. Now, here's the reverse thing that's happening right now. It's been happening, but it's more fluent happening right now. They're moving back. I seen a white man running past my house today. At first, I looked behind him, see if somebody was chasing him. But he had on the Nike. He had on all the shit was Nike. He was matching. I said, he's jogging.
Oh, he's exercising.
And I was like, this is like the third day in a row.
Consistency.
He's like,
like you said, you're not really used to that.
He back. And I always tell people, this is how you know your neighborhood is about to be gentrified. When they start putting them bicycle lanes,
Okay. That's how you know.
White people coming.
Yeah.
White people coming. White people coming. White people coming. Bicycle lanes, I'm telling
Okay.
you.
Okay. I never paid attention to that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it makes a good point.
So you
because
see them
who
bicycle lanes.
riding them for real, like you said.
The person that's painted on the bike is a white person on a bike. White people coming. And he like this. And he comfortable.
He
Get out of our way. We're here.
Yeah, this is our lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see here that you are a speaker. You had experience of being a TEDx speaker. Can you go a little bit into that and
Yeah.
what things did you choose to kind of speak about?
Work with the juveniles. Everything that I do is surrounded around, I'm going to be honest with you, around blackness.
That's great.
I can only relate to our people, especially the young black men, and also black parents as well too, to try to tell them what they need to do in order to move forward in life and not get caught up. Right now, I'm trying to. We talk about racism. How racism has not changed.
Yeah.
I have pitched this book along with other speaking proposals to public school system, to prison systems, talk to the wardens and all that stuff. And you know what happens? They don't want you in there.
Wow.
Because I'm affecting their bottom line. Because if
Yeah.
I get them reading and I get them on a straight and arrow,
Yeah, they'll
then
thrive.
I'm getting in the way of the new prisons that they're building.
For newcomers.
Yeah. So only thing that you can do is form a nonprofit and then have sponsorship behind you and just give them the books.
Okay.
So now
one way or
yeah.
another, you're going to get this
Yeah,
information.
you're gonna get the information, but they don't really want you coming in there talking to them, because they're gonna redirect you. It's happened to me numerous amount of times. I spoke at Job Corps, of course before they, shut everything down. But it's information. It's hard to get our people information from somebody that has made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And I don't know why that is, but if anything, that should be more inspiring knowing that it isn't so far-fetched.
It's the powers to be.
It's in grasp.
It's the powers to be. And they always want you to do it for free, but they got $100 million budget.
That is true.
And what ends up happening is, can you just come and speak to the kids for free? I can come and speak, but y'all got $100 million.
Exactly.
So
Let's make it make sense.
I'm going to need some of that budget.
Yeah.
I don't want all of it.
Yeah, because my
I just
time
want a little
matters
bit.
too.
Yeah. So, but what happens is when you're going to speak in those areas, in those arenas, you're going to speak for free. They create an invoice that said they paid you, and they never paid you.
Wow.
And then that way somebody's backdooring pocketing that money. Oh, it's
Because
man,
the
listen.
invoices, that's crazy. So how do you feel about the power of the voice of our youth, or just even our black men being taken away? Like, how do you feel about that? What are more things that you may want to see to eliminate that? Along with maybe just even a matter of just pushing your book out there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think these young people nowadays, they refer to them as YNs. These young brothers, man, they're not having it. Only thing is, even though they're not having it, there's some cowardice about them because they don't know everything that needs to be done. They soldiers, they're fearless, but if you take away the gun, what you got?
Exactly, because nobody really use fists anymore, and I
Exactly.
feel like it's because that's not pushed. When you used to get in fights back in the day, it used to be like, okay, you handle this like a man, we scrap, okay, we gonna shake hands, move on about it. Some people even end up the best of friends after it. Now it's like, okay, one person win, one person loses, now I gotta come and get my get back, now it's retaliation, now I'm getting these people involved, and it's just a whole, fiasco of confusion.
Everything that's happening with the young people nowadays, because I worked in a juvenile facility as well, is that most of them don't know how to read. And it's not that they didn't want to learn, it's just that the teachers don't want to really teach it, or they're scared to teach. They don't know how to tell time.
Okay, and that's a big thing.
And part of that too is because
not
they
digital.
stopped teaching time in school.
Yes, I was gonna say it's an idea.
They don't know how to write in cursive.
Yes,
So
they
pretty
took
much
that out too.
they're reverting a lot of the younger generation back to slavery. So if you don't know how to write in cursive, so now you just place your mark.
Exactly.
That's what our great grandfathers did.
Yeah, how are you signing important documents?
Exactly.
That says print and then signature.
Yeah, just put
it's a difference.
Place your mark here. So once we can get past that and just try to get these young people together, we'll be fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I want to take a little bit of time to shout out people in the comments. Miss Monique said, hey. BB Shannon. Richard Heath said, good afternoon. Richard said, my brother, BB Shannon, good to see you. Shout out to Calvin Deal. Hey, Brits. Talk to Todd said, women will definitely get the job done. And then Brittany also said, we have enough celebrities, basketball players, football players, etc. And Krishan said, good afternoon. So thank you guys so much for tapping in.
Thank you.
And watching. I appreciate it.
I want to share this one situation. I don't know if everybody in Metro Detroit, this kind of went international news, where the 16-year-old young black male shot and killed a neighbor who was like a mentor to him. Shot and killed the neighbor, his wife, and their 5-year-old son. And
wow.
Supposedly the wife was pregnant. So there was four lives that were lost. This young man came to my unit, and I'm gonna tell you something. Pure evil.
Wow.
Pure evil. His mother allegedly kept him away from his father. And then as time went on, the neighborhood raised him, and then the one man that was trying to show him something, he killed. So when he gets to my unit, I had all the killers on my unit. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you do crimes like that, when you do crimes like that, you're gonna do 40 years.
Okay.
From the time when you turn 17, 18, depending on how your birthday fall. So when he gets out, he'll be 57 years old.
Okay, because that's when they can try you as an adult with that 40 years. Is when they what?
Yes, the
18?
maximum juvenile life is 40 years.
Okay.
And what ended up happening was this young man told. I asked him. I said, what happened? He said, man, my father wasn't there. You know, my mother. You know, my mother and father didn't really get along. But my father was trying to be there, and it just. And I was mad, and I was angry. And then, and he just kept getting in trouble. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to take this time on this platform to say this. I can't speak for white people. I can't. I'm strictly talking to the black community on this right now. Ladies, stop holding your children from their father because he don't want you. Get over it. And then when he by the time the kid turned 14, 15, you want this father to try to do a miraculous change in the next 3 years. Yeah. He's already done.
It's not
He's
gonna
fried.
Happen overnight. Exactly.
He's fried.
He's mentally damaged.
He's fried.
Yeah.
He's a menace to society at that point. And then now when he turns 18, he's with you. Now you want to kick him out the house.
Exactly. Without being ready. And
then now you've created the same man that you complain about that you date.
Now that's the one. It happens so often. It happens so often that, kids grow up thinking that it's one way because the mother may or may, not have spoken on the father.
Exactly.
They grow up with a one-track mind that, hey, mom was here. This is what I see. Dad wasn't. So I place the blame there, but not knowing the full story.
Exactly.
So please, ladies, first, be careful who you lay down to have kids with. 2, definitely, if it does not work out, it's life, but allow that man to see his child, especially if he is trying to. Because there's so many that are not. But if he is, please find it in your heart to allow him to be a father.
Now, I'm going to address this to the white community, too. I got a lot of followers on Instagram. And a lot of times because you see a young man doesn't have a father in his life, a lot of time the white community and corporate America don't look at the fact sometimes parents die, sometimes men die, they go to jail, things happen, there's a divorce, there's a disgruntled mother. Per capita, black men take care of their kids more than any other culture in the world. If you don't believe me, look it up. That's facts.
That's an interesting statistic because that's not the narrative they push. They push it as other races are there, side by side, hand in hand at the big events, the graduations, the field trips, things like that. Our people are not. But what I can say is the younger generation, I do see them stepping up a lot more and wanting to be in their kids' life. So I do commend them on that.
But here's the thing: we've always been there. This is not new. We've always been there. The worst thing that ever happened was Section 8.
Yes.
It's the worst thing. I'm going to tell you something. Y'all going to be mad at me when I say this. I'm glad Trump got rid of that shit. Yeah, and I voted for him. I did.
Okay.
I did. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm tired of I'm sick and tired of seeing the slave shit. When we going to stop being slaves and wake the fuck up?
Yeah.
When we going to stop being slaves, man?
I agree.
They took my Section 8. But here's the thing.
Keeping you mentally stagnant.
It's a lot of white people that's on Section 8. There's a lot of white people. All the white people that I'm seeing online, they canceled my $1,600 in food stamps. First of all, how'd you get $1,600? How many kids do you have?
How many kids?
No, you just got 2 kids. You get $1,200 just for being white.
Yeah.
You, in order to get $1,600 as a black person,
You gotta have
like 10 kids.
A couple kids, yeah.
You gotta have 10 kids.
That's the,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not just
not
us.
equal.
It's not just us. So yeah, it's one of those things. Black people, we got to come out of this. We got to come out of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
We've been lied to so much that we believe it. We believe the lies. And one of the things that I talk about in this book is that everything is fake. Everything fake. Everything is fake. Nothing what you see is real.
So at what stage in your life did you kind of remove your rose-colored glasses and really start seeing things for what it was? Was it in the beginning, back when you were in California, or was it more so when you moved to Detroit?
When I was in college.
Okay.
My first lesson, I talk about it in the book. Being the only black guy on an all-white basketball team. Make sure y'all going to get the book. I'm
Please.
not going to tell you all the stories for free.
It's a great
You got to
book.
go get the book. I was the only black guy on an all-white basketball team, and I ended up getting injured. And as soon as they gave me the scholarship, they snatched it back.
Wow. Because of the injury.
No, because of the injury, but they were betting on me to take them to a championship the first year. So they got mad.
So this was a retaliation.
This is a retaliation.
They couldn't benefit off you how they thought.
Exactly.
And that's a lot riding on you, considering you are a part of a team.
And then I'm playing ball with white boys who've never seen a brother before.
Exactly. So that's intimidating.
Yeah.
Not really realizing how you felt being in a predominantly white school and you being the only black person in the whole state. Now that, when I read that, I'm like, and the book is so descriptive. I felt like I was actually there in real time, and each chapter is so descriptive.
The chapter that you're talking about is called Miss It, Black Boy Miss It. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all the short version. I'm the only black guy on an all-white team. We're in Marion, Indiana. It's about 3,000 people in the gym. No other blacks in the stand. I'm balling my ass off. I'm killing them. I'm like Malcolm X in a uniform. I'm doing them. They can't do nothing with it. They're fouling me and all this other stuff. The referee's not calling the fouls. So then they start hacking me. With hacking is like fouling you. So they was trying to do the hack and shack. So they didn't think I could shoot free throws. I was fairly good. So now I'm at the free throw line. The way the gym is set up, it was like rows of seats that go up to the top. So on the first row, it's a bunch of little kids, probably about between 6 and 8 years old. And then it's like their big brothers, and then it's like their mom and dad, then it's the grandparents, and then it's the fans. These little kids, normally white people don't be on cue. They don't have no rhythm. So they start chanting, M-I-S-S, miss it, black boy miss it. M-I-S-S, miss it, black boy miss it. So the whole gym, they're stomping and they're clapping. I'm like, they got the nerves to be on rhythm.
Exactly. Trying to get in your mind.
I can't miss these free throws.
Yeah.
I turned to my coach and said, hey, man, you ain't going to say nothing? He said, just play ball. Just play ball. I told the ref, I said, hey, y'all need to do something. They're supposed to get a tech. He said, I don't see anything. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, and that's so unfortunate.
Those 2 free throws was for the culture. I sank them both. Boom. First one I hit, silence. Great shoot the second one, they chanting louder. It's like hate behind that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, do I make it? Do I miss it? If I make it, am I going to get lynched?
Exactly. You see?
So then I was like,
just for being talented.
I hit the free throw. Boom. Silence the crowd. Now, see, here sometimes, this is the biggest lesson of the book. Black people, when you're in a situation like that, a lot of time, and I hate to use this word, black people will show up, but then white people will summon the nigga. Don't summon the nigga.
That's it.
They summon the nigga.
I ain't no killer, but no push me.
What ended up happening was, after I hit the free throw, my coach didn't say nothing, the referee didn't say nothing. So I flipped him the double bird, 360 in the gym.
Yeah.
So then the ref come up, give me a tech, and throw me out the game.
That's all they wanted. That's all they wanted.
said,
like
what?
you said, you summoned this, and because I reacted, this is what you chose to pay attention to, as opposed to what what prompted me to act this way. And I feel like they do that all of the time. It's
so
strategic.
They put me on the bench. The coach was over there fussing and cussing. I said, hey, man. I said, stop talking to me. I said, you didn't defend me.
Right.
When I'm on your team, and the lesson that I talk about is that stop expecting white people to defend you. And then when they, you have to defend yourself. And then I reacted instead of responding. What I should have did was took a bow.
That's it. Because you were unstoppable.
Yeah.
So
I completely handled that all the way wrong.
Yeah, and no, you're fine.
But
you're fine.
It felt good.
Yeah, and you learn from it. So Toxic Todd said racist white people love us when it comes to sports or entertainment because they think we are entertainment. So if we're acting, thank you. We are acting in that realm, that's what we're mostly praised in, when we are being some form of entertainment to others. So because of everything that you had to go through, so how important was it for you to create your own path or your own lane?
My path was created out of a lot of rejection. Okay. Nobody wanted me in their lane. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper on this because it's just not with corporate America and the white community. There's been some black people, and it's a chapter that is called The Spooks that blocked the door. And it's in this book. And I will say this. There was a couple of situations where I was hired for the Secret Service. Okay. Well, I was in the process of being hired to the Secret Service, and it was me and 4 state troopers from Indiana. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get that algorithm of life, and who knows? They might have been the same people as in the damn stands.
Yeah. So exactly.
So now I'm in there. These 4 white state troopers, like straight up hillbillies, they're talking amongst each other. They're not talking to me. It don't matter. I'm not there to make friends. I'm here to make money. So we go and take the test. I pass the test. You find out like a week or 2 later. Secret Service called me, said, we need you to come take the test again. I said, well, I've already passed the test. I got the letter from George Bush. Mm-hmm. George, the dad. They said, yeah, we need you to come take the test again. They had a black female proctor. She was the one that was in charge. She didn't believe that I outscored the white state troopers. So then when I go in there to take the test again, downtown Detroit, Secret Service office, they said, okay, we need you to take the test again, but there's some rules. They put me in an interrogation room with like 15 cameras.
Wow.
You take the test, you can only have one hand on the table at all times.
Wow.
Your hand can never leave the table.
Wow. So the proctor herself wasn't enough. You had to have the interrogation room, the cameras, the proctor, and one hand on the table?
Yes.
To retake this test that you already scored on.
My hand could never lift off the table.
That's wild work.
So now I'm sitting there like this, and there's people in the invisible mirror watching. They got all the cameras on me, like I'm a damn suspect.
Exactly.
And I'm taking the test. So now I done scored 5 points higher
than before. Oh, they really was mad then. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Then the lady,
beat them, join them.
Then the lady has the nerve to say to me, she said, we really appreciate you coming back. And I said, this was a waste of time.
Yeah.
I said,
did you get what you was looking for?
She was just like, well, I really appreciate it. She pat me on the back. I almost said, bitch, don't touch me.
Yeah, because don't pet me. Don't pet me. Like, is you cool?
It'd be the same people that look like us acting in the position of the white man because
you said she was a black proctor.
This was a black lady. She wasn't no old black lady either.
And that made it even worse.
Yeah. So I'm just like, wow, man. So then after that, they made me go through all of this stuff, and then they never brought me in. At that point, I would have been on Barack Obama's detail.
Yeah, and they would have had to treat you as such, and they probably weren't ready for that.
I got all the way down to the end of the hiring process. I passed everything, and there was a Puerto Rican guy that was doing the interview process, and he tells me, he said, Mr. Williams, he said, I could send you to the academy today. I said, well, why not? He said, I don't know you. I said, what do you mean you don't know me? You did my background check and all this other stuff. He said, man, he said, for you have to have a legacy. He said, you got any family that work for the government? I said, no, man, we blue collar. He said,
right.
And he chuckled and laughed, said, what about the post office?
Wow.
I said, no, I got an uncle by marriage that's in the CIA. He said, no, that's not good enough. He said, at this point.
How was the CIA not good enough?
Well, he wasn't blood related. He was an uncle by marriage.
Oh, okay.
So they used that against me. They used the legacy clause against me because I got too close to the finish line.
Every time we get close, they push it back.
And then he said, I'll just put you on we'll put you on the next list, and if we get back around to you, we will, and you'll possibly be hired maybe for the next one. And then there's an age cutoff.
Possibly.
And at that time, I was going through the uniform division.
Okay.
And they raised the age to 40. So I'm sitting on this list, and I'm getting these letters that's showing that I'm next up. Then when I turn 40, I get some mail that says, unfortunately, we've done a hiring freeze at this time.
Wow.
A
hiring
you
freeze.
won't be going any further. That was almost, I say, about a 7-year ordeal of me going back and forth,
so
taking
that
the
much
test.
time.
Yeah. Because kept taking the test and all that stuff.
And like you said, just for it to be, yeah.
And that's why I said, a lot of times it's really not meant for us to work in corporate America and in society, but we got to do more than making albums and making baskets. We got to create. Look at how we did coming out of slavery. We were inventors. They stole all our patents.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't file patents.
Yes.
We got to get back to that. And then this time, nobody's stealing nothing.
Board. Yeah, that is
true.
true.
We got to get back to that, man.
That's true. Ms. Rhea said sometimes the rejection creates redirection for our protection. Mm-hmm. And I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Jay Stu said, I never get upset when I know I'm right. I just smile and watch you put your head down. And then Talk to Todd said, it be your own people every time, and that's why we'll stay behind. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
It be your own people. And it's like, why you, when you understand what I've been through, maybe currently going through it as well. And you know how the fight is. So why wouldn't you want to help me and push me further? We go further together. We just need to keep pushing people further.
I'm going to say this, and I said this in the book. I don't argue with nobody that Harriet Tubman would have left behind.
That.
And I'm saying that nice. I don't argue with no Negroes that Harriet Tubman would have left behind.
That's good.
If you keep that with you,
that's good.
You can't go wrong.
I'm gonna use.
And just like I'm saying, like there's blacks that do certain things. There's also. I have been in a situation where I've had some good white folks that have helped me out. That have, for as many of the few that kept me back, it's been probably equal amount that said, hey, you know what? Help. That put me in them same rooms where I was the only black guy, or
where you were told no.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then being in that room with all these powerful white people going out to dinner and all this other stuff, and I could be me.
Yes,
I could be me. I ain't got to put on airs. I'm not code
and that
switching.
was one of the things I had. So having to mask being a black man, having to, you even talked about code switching earlier, just feeling like we have to be different in those different environments, you know, because we can't be too loud or too vulgar or, use too much profanity or, whatever the case may be. We feel like we have to confide in that box. We were like, yes, sure, yes, ma'am. Things like that. So I definitely agree. Sometimes you do have to mask, and to be able to truly be yourself, it's an indescribable feeling.
I'll say in the last couple of years, this is what happens. this is what I've learned. What happens when you're coming up the ranks? There's a certain group of people, and I'm going to say it's poor-minded people and people who lack resources, whether they black or white. Those are the ones that's going to hold you back because they jealous. So sometimes it's racism involved, but it's more so hatred.
I agree.
And envy than anything. But then once I reached a certain plateau, this is what happened. White folks was like, man, this brother B over here, man, he a good guy, man. He do this, he do that. Okay, yeah. You ain't even got an interview. I'm sending him over. Then when I go over there, I'm gonna tell you a little story, and I kind of talk about it in the book. I went from Wayne County Juvenile to it's out there now, a federal contractor with Homeland Security. From that to Fox. Now, all the guys that I'm working with is FBI, DEA, Secret Service, Border Patrol. I'm the only brother. It was another brother that was just doing the scheduling, but he seen me coming.
Yeah, I would have wore those positions proud.
He seen me coming up the ranks.
Yeah.
Man, he started throwing fireballs, man. Not because I did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Because what you talked about earlier, how I look, how big I am.
Yeah.
I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm in shape. I move different. This guy, and I'm not knocking the short kings. This guy, he's like 5'6", 300 pounds. It was a bowling ball. He wasn't in shape. He looked like a booger, So it's like, what you really mad at?
Exactly. What are you really
mad at? What you really mad at, man?
It's the jealousy. Like you said, it's the jealousy, the envy, and them really trying to be you and steal your light and steal your shine.
But I have been afforded the opportunities to move around in places that I was denied earlier, and I still got there. So at the end of the day, the book basically talks about, even though you get denied, keep your resilience. You still get there.
Yes.
In fact, I work less hours and make more money than had I went the other route, and I do it through my company as a contractor.
That is, delay does not mean denial. Delay does not mean denial.
Staying in 4-season hotels.
Listen,
5-star restaurants.
I aspire to be at Four Seasons when I get older.
I'm telling you, it's nice.
Yeah, so that is so good.
Yeah.
So wow, that is good. So what currently is your path of life now? What currently are you working on? What's going on now?
I'm actually now that people don't I will say people still read, but they say if 60% of people don't physically pick up a book, but they will do an audio book. So I'm transitioning more into only doing audiobooks.
Nice.
Some stuff that Doc and I worked on, having that stuff put out on different networks and stuff like that.
Nice.
As far as distribution, working on some documentaries. I'm just going to keep it moving.
Yeah, and I feel like the people need to hear you and your content. So congratulations.
Yes.
Beforehand, I know it'll be great. And I definitely want to thank you for coming on today, sitting at the table. And it's been great. It's been amazing. Resilience is key. Resilience is key.
Yep. I appreciate that.
Yes, no problem. So I do want to ask want to ask you a question. I'm sorry. Can you give a piece of advice to our listeners in regards to just being one step closer to their dreams, their goals, and aspirations?
The answer that I'm going to give is not what people want to hear. We got to go back to the beginning. We were lied to about everything. Find out what the real name of God is. Find out what the real name of Jesus is. And all that stuff was made up. That's not the real name. 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 That's the first thing. Once you start there, you undo. I will say it. Nobody will say, you got to undo that bullshit, because we was lied to from the start.
From the beginning,
was lied to from the start to keep us down and to make us think that the master was white, to keep perpetuating slavery. Once you dismantle that, then you can go forward. Because other than that, you'll still be moving you'll still be moving in blindness. And once you get that light, I'm telling you, it's so hard to undo the slavery of our grandparents and our parents because they taught them
Those
that
are years.
they drug us back and forth to church, and there's nothing wrong with church. But then church, I also fought church. Church, I hate to say it, it's a building.
Church hurt.
Yeah, church is a building that kept perpetuating slavery. And I'm not talking about. I believe in God. I'm a follower. I believe in Yahweh. That's real name. And Yahshua, his son. Jesus was some blonde-haired white man that didn't exist, that was painted by some gay dude's lover. We ain't doing all of that shit.
So it's deeper than what
It's deeper than that. You got to go back and unravel that first, and then once you face the truth about our history and our past, then you just move forward. Stay diligent. Whatever you're good at, turn it into your business and be profitable, and just keep making moves. You'll get it.
Thank you. That is great advice. So everybody, thank you so much again. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today. Definitely make sure you pick up a copy of Born on the Hit List, which is the book by BB Shannon. If you Google that, search that, you can definitely find that and definitely purchase, definitely support. I was granted the privilege to be able to read a couple of chapters, so thank you for that, and it was great. So I definitely want to say thank you, and I want to just say that today and every day, just remember, you are one step closer.
Amazon.com.
Yes, have a great day, and I will see you guys next week.
Peace.
One step closer. You got to get one step closer. Closer to love, closer to God, closer to who you want to be in life. Why? You got to get one step closer. Closer to love, closer to God, closer to who you want to be in life. Take one step at a time to reach your goal.